Hey there, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. Oh, sorry. Oh man, one of the side effects of my chemo is it grabs your muscle. It happens in it. Oh, I can't use a hand. It happens in your foot where it makes your foot kind of like curl like that, and it's like the muscle in the this part is pulled tight. Oh, it's crazy. And then it happens to my my forearms. Okay, well, just ignore me for a second. Oh yeah. Anywho, I forgot to take one of my shots out of the refrigerator. I need to wait for it to warm up a little bit, so I thought I'd make some tea and catch up with you. I don't know about you, but where are you in the world? Are you dealing with this incredible heat wave going around the globe? Whew. It has been brutal. It was a rough week. This has been an exhausting week. Oh man. And part of it is the weather, and part of it is I returned to chemo after having had that surgery last week. I was really nervous going into this week and getting my chemo, because I just didn't know, right? I just had lung surgery, and it was only a week later, and how it's going to impact you. So I was a little anxious going in, and on Fridays I go in for blood work. How it works is my platelets crash, right? So if you're a cancer patient and your platelets crash, it means you can't get your chemo. So I'm on that trial drug, remember, that allows me to always get my chemo because it props up my platelets. So I go in on Friday and I just get my blood drawn, and then we look at what my platelet levels are, and it's a yes or no on the drug. If I have to take it, it guarantees I'll be ready for chemo on Monday. So it's beautiful. I don't mind going in at all. But it is difficult. It is, do not do it with that hand, Nicole. Ooh, can you imagine if I dropped this on my feet? Again, it's just going in for blood work. And yes, it takes me 45 minutes to an hour to get there, and it is usually an hour there, but it's worth it. I get my chemo, right? So I usually just try to turn it into super fun. Put some music on, dance around when I get there. And I do that, and I go into the weekend, and one of my things, I think this is a mental thing. I don't like wasting any space in my brain for like chemo, for example. I know I have to go to chemo. I'm not doing anything else on the chemo day. So I do not look at my calendar. I have no idea what time I go in for chemo until the day before. I just literally don't want to have any extra information in my brain that's unnecessary. All of my energy goes to healing and kicking this little fucker's ass, right? So my habit is on Sunday, I open up the hospital information channel, and you go in there and you look at your calendar. And when I opened it up this week, there was no calendar. All of my appointments, my oncology appointment, my chemo appointment, my blood draw, everything was gone, right? And I knew they were there because on Friday, again, I go in, I get tested, we reviewed my calendar. So I knew that it was just, we'll see you on Monday for chemo, right? Whatever the case was. Well, of course, then I start freaking out. I'm like, okay, wait, it's just a glitch in the computer. I'm sure it's just a glitch in my chart. But what if it isn't? What if they determine that actually the chemo's not working, so why bother? Maybe I'm not getting chemo anymore. Oh my God, that's faster than I thought. You just start going through that, and then you just breathe. Nothing you can do on a Sunday except for put a message in. And I'm already super anxious about how this chemo is going to impact me. Now I don't even know if I'm getting chemo. Oh, it's glorious. Okay, breathe. Next morning, wake up, put a message in. My nurses are fantastic. They've responded. Nicole, you asked to cancel your appointments today because you're going out of town. Okay, first of all, I have no recollection of that conversation. Like when they said that to me, I almost started just crying because I don't have any recollection of that whatsoever. And it wasn't just that made, like, it just was like, holy fuck, I really am not losing my mind because, you know, but the chemo is really impacting me to this moment. I don't recall having that conversation, who I talked to, whatever. But my team is so incredibly lovely, and I'm so happy that I did have this habit, because if I had walked in at noon, they would have said you don't have an appointment, and there's no way they could have gotten me in, right? But since I knew, and I was like on the phone at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, they squeezed me in. And then that chemo hit me like I literally just got out of bed this morning. So it was intense. But it's all worth it. We are, you know, my wife and I, we've been really struggling with that. I'm not getting a chemo break, having to deal. You know, you look at me and I look healthy. At this point, I look healthy, and so you think like I'm leading a normal life, and I'm just not. And there's always just something, and it's just never ending. And we kept, you know, we've talked about it since the spring. We kept hoping and planning to go on this chemo break, that I was going to be able to walk away from chemo treatment, not have to go to the hospital every week, not have to do chemo, just take a break mentally, physically, spiritually, like everything. And for my wife too, she's so thoroughly exhausted from having to never get a break in her life because of work, and then having to be the caretaker for me, and it's stressful. As you just saw, I canceled a chemo appointment without even knowing, right? She's terrified. She's traveling on the road, and she's afraid I'm going to burn the house down. Like, so it's a lot. It's a lot. And we kept putting this chemo break, this break from treatment, has been pushed off, and it keeps getting pushed off, because every time I get to a point, there's, you know, my doctors are like, let's keep going because it's working, we're doing good stuff, and we don't want to take the risk of you going on a chemo break because it is also at the same time aggressively growing, but it's super small and we can get it, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of, you know, just I don't want to go take 3-4 cycles of chemo off and come back and be told that it's game over. I would not be able to live with myself for that. So I did finally chat with my wife, and we came to an agreement that we're just gonna approach the next couple of months the same way that we did earlier this summer. We're gonna do something fun, and then chemo, and something fun. As long as I can make this body rally, it is getting very hard. I wish it worked as well as it looked right now, but anyways, so what that means, we're going to Jackson Hole tomorrow. Stop lifting that. Yeah, so we're gonna go to Jackson Hole tomorrow. We're gonna go to the mountains for like 10 days, I think. And I did push one chemo back. It's so scary to make that decision. It's so scary, but it's worth it. I know we're gonna do 10 days. We're gonna come back, and the week I come back, I've got a CT scan. I meet with both of my doctors, my radiologist, my ablationist. I have chemo. Like, yeah, it's gonna hit me in the freaking head as soon as I get back. But then I'm gonna work with them and see. Let's game plan. Remember, there are only 3 spots of cancer left in my body from it having invaded this whole thing. You know, it's feasible. It's feasible that I could actually remove all of the existing cancer, and so I can't take a break. But we're gonna come back to Jackson. We're gonna figure out the plan, and then we're gonna go to Iceland. We're going to Helsinki. I think we're gonna go to Istanbul in October, and then November, we just decided that I'm going all in. I am believing that we are going to crush this cancer, at least for the time being. I'm gonna eradicate it, and I am celebrating because I believe it's going to be done by November, and I can take a chemo break at that time. And so I just booked 8 days in Maui, Hawaii at the Four Seasons, because damn, I just want to go for hikes and rainforests and go scuba diving, sea kayaking, and just So lots of good stuff coming up, and that's what I'm telling myself. So this was a brutal week. Made me very sad to think I'm doing things like, but not remembering really. That's scary, but I'm going to Jackson tomorrow. That's all that matters. We're getting up early. We're going to Jackson. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I will, I'm going to be hiking and biking my butt off as long as this thing keeps moving. So I will be taking lots of pictures, and I'll share with you guys. Okay? All right. Well, again, thank you for joining me. Thanks for coming to hang out. I think it's time to get my shots ready. So, all right. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.